So, working on the Belvedere. Haven't been working on it for the past couple of days, just been doing some other stuff, so I want to get back on this. I'm not going to get it done today. I'm not even probably going to get it done tomorrow, but I want to get started on the quarter panel situation here. So, this is the current quarter panel on the car, obviously. So, what the problem with this is, obviously, is all the rust here. From about here forward is actually all good, except it does need a repair there. So I don't know if I'm going to mess with any of this. I think I'll probably just leave it because it's all good metal. But the problem with this is it's not just the skin. It's actually the outer wheelhouse where it mounts to the quarter panel that is also bad from about here back to where it mounts to the trunk extension. So I'm going to have to cut away the quarter panel skin here, and then I'll have to, what I'm thinking about doing is doing the inner metal after the skin here is cut away, and then I will put the skin over top and then weld it along here the way it's supposed to be, like from the factory. So that brings up a couple of things I need to do then. First of all, I need to cut from about here up. I think I can go past the body line and then over, but I have this patch panel here that's going to be my guide as far as what I can and what I can't do. This is actually off a 4-door, as you can see. There's a door jamb here, but that doesn't matter. Since obviously we're not going to be using any of that. We're only using from about here back anyways. And this had the trim on, so get that out of the way. I already had that pulled off. And here's the body line. You're going to have to take these clips off and grind off these studs and that stuff, but that's not really that big of a deal. So I've got about an inch at the shortest point. I've got about an inch above the body line, and up here I've got all the space here. I'm not going to end up using any of this probably. Realistically, I'll probably end up using from here and carry about ½ inch above the body line and then down. So, and it looks like this is rusty, which it is, but that's not what I need. What I need is only up to that seam right here, this seam. So I need to separate this seam and then the seam that holds this inner piece here to the actual quarter skin. So I'm gonna get to work on that. Gonna have to just drill out the spot welds after I go through and find them, and then obviously we could do this later, but I was just gonna get these clips off and grind these studs off because they're not going to be needed, obviously, as this is not a car that had this trim. So we'll be moving on to that, but I'm gonna start tackling this. I'm going to cut the quarter panel on the car and then start cutting on this a little bit and trying to match things up, but I will keep you guys updated along the way. One other quick little kind of announcement, I guess you could call it. Working with a couple of people about doing some like t-shirts and stickers for the Belvedere, as far as like shirts that anybody that would want one could buy. So that might be some upcoming cool stuff within the next couple weeks at the latest. But we're just working on finalizing a couple of idea designs as well as some just finishing touches, but definitely going to be doing some of that stuff, and definitely let me know what you guys think about some of that. But anyways, I'm going to get to work here, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Well, I kind of jumped ahead of you guys a little bit here. As you can see before, I was starting to get kind of the panel prepped as well as everything else. Well, now it's welded in place. It's still just tacked in, and I still need to do a lot of finish welding, and there's a lot of little things to fix as far as just making everything fit 100% right. But as you can see from that, this quarter panel is once again one solid piece. So I will get this finished ground up and get this in kind of in better condition. I gotta do some welding on the inside as well, inside lip in those areas, but I will get you guys further updates in a minute. So I'll be right back. Well, the quarter panel is mostly welded on. I actually have a lot of work left to do as far as filling gaps with weld and related problems. I have a couple of gaps I need to get figured out. But overall, it came out pretty good, relatively straight as far as the body line and everything goes. You can see the main body line carries across pretty straight. As you can see, that's where the panel comes up, over, and down, because I have a lot of remaining welding yet to do. So we're going to be doing that over the next not couple days, probably over the next day. And then this, I'm trying to figure out exactly what we got going on coming up next, because I do have other rust repair to do, and I want to get it all done before I get a large portion of the car blasted, as well as I want to do more disassembly and take the dash apart, take it off completely. I'm getting a new dash frame uh, to be put in the car. And this is a 1966, and it's also the same for 67, so you don't need to worry about the VIN on the dash or anything. It's actually in the door jamb, so that'll make it nice and kind of stress-free in order to swap the dash. But anyways, that's coming up eventually. So, but what we have going on here is, it's kind of hard to explain. I had this large panel I had out of another car that I put in place. And then you can see this little rectangle here. I cut that out and made that patch panel because once I started welding this edge, I didn't realize before this whole area right here was thin. And it was just blowing through, and even when I turned my welder down to see if I could at least just get something going on it, it just was not happy. So ended up cutting out further patch. So there's actually from about here to here, there's actually 3 different pieces of metal. So there's definitely going to need to be a bit of blending done in the whole area, but specifically that area might be a little bit tricky. But the big thing I was worried about was this body line that comes across here, and it's actually on pretty straight. So I'm happy with that. There's plenty of body work left to do on this. I just shot this in a little bit of white spray paint I had, and that's all just going to be ground back off. But it's just a little bit of a visual that I wanted to get on the body line, because you can feel it with your hand and everything, but you get a lot better sense of what you're looking at when you actually have it all one solid color that actually has a little bit of gloss to it. So, but tonight and in the morning, I'm going to be welding up all these little gaps and little pinholes. The most difficult part is I have a lot of welding left to do on the inside, so not really looking forward to that, but you got to do what you got to do. I'm going to get the car up probably another foot if I can, put it up on jack stands properly, and kind of almost have myself kind of tucked up in there and welding up inside a little bit. So I originally wanted to separate the 2 panels, but it was just easier to do it this way, and I've got pretty good fitment on the inside as well. It's going to be really dark in order to even try to show you guys, so you probably won't see much of that. And that's probably not going to turn out very perfect either, and at the end of the day, this is a little bit of a drag car kind of feel to it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But if this was a restoration like we will be doing in the future on other cars, yeah, absolutely. You want nice, clean, as good of work as possible. And I still do want that for this as well. But definitely not going to be putting an extra 6 hours worth of grinding and welding into specifically an area that nobody but myself will ever see, and nobody will really ever see at all because it's a drag car. But anyways, that's besides the point. That's enough rambling. So as far as this quarter panel goes, like I said, I need to get this finished, and then right where my welding clamp is, pretty much there's a hole right there. So I need to do that as well. But other than that, this quarter panel and then the welding on the inside, this quarter panel is done. I need to go through, going to be grinding as far as metalwork. I'm going to be not, I don't want to say grinding down, but stripping down with a stripper wheel and my DA and other related bodywork tools. Strip this whole quarter down to bare metal as best I can. The biggest problem with this quarter panel, aside from the rust, which is now repaired mostly, is right here. I don't know if you can see in the picture, but there's a dent here. It's hard to see and I don't have a really good perspective on it. Actually, let me try this. Yeah, you can see that a little bit. There's a dent there, but I have good access on the inside of the quarter panel through the rear door panel window area, so I can actually get in there and push most of it out. So, and we might need to get the dent puller out a little bit on some areas, but it should be mostly good to go. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as what I'm going to cover in this video for this quarter panel repair. I know I didn't get a whole lot of, as far as like video of me actually physically working on it, but I figure I can at least get it like this, and you can see it's pretty straight. There is a little bit of a dip in here where those three pieces of metal come together. I don't know if heat did that or if something just wasn't lined up properly, but I should be able to get most of that straightened out with either dent puller and other means, as well as this whole area. Probably most of what you see in the white around here is going to be at least just lightly skim coated just to make it mostly straight. At the end of the day, it's a drag car, but on the other side of it, I want it to be straight. So, but anyways, I guess that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, if you can, like and subscribe and all that stuff. It definitely always is a good thing if I get a little notification that says somebody else subscribed. So definitely give that a look, and I will see you guys in the next one.